Hello and welcome to episode 22 of Agrarian Skies 2. So this episode I said we were going to focus on bees. So you might be wondering, why do I have a farm set up? Well, because I'm getting started with bees early before getting into any of the other magical mods, I have to come up with a way of getting more princesses so that I can do a lot of the mutations that I need to do, because I'm running out of princesses basically is the gist. And there are ways in Botania to get princesses, and I'm not sure if there is in Thaumcraft, but you can with Ex Nihilo get princesses, but a lot of the stuff I've tried to do by scenting up the artificial hives, surrounding them with stone, or scenting it up and putting it with near the lily pad, I haven't been able to attract any bees. And I don't know if that's just my bad luck, or if if it just isn't working quite right. So there is another way to get bees, and that's the reason why I have this farm set up. Now all I have in here is basically pumpkin and wheat, and I don't really need that for food because I've got my epic baking going, so that's fine. I got the power coming in from my system downstairs. I'm still just putting it in a drum for now. I'm gonna have to deal with the sludge here pretty soon, but I just set this up and it's already quickly giving me some pumpkin and some wheat. And the reason I want pumpkin and wheat, pumpkin is a great source of seeds because you get 4 seeds per pumpkin. So it's excellent source of seeds. And so what I want the seeds for is so that I can come over here and I can plop them in this chest, and all the seeds should go down and they should go into my squeezer, and they'll make seed oil, which is good. And then once the seed oil is done getting made, it'll get pumped into my wooden barrel here. And then once I have enough seed oil produced to make 1 bucket's worth, then what I need to do is I need to put an artificial hive sort of up there, and it'll go into the hopper. And then once there's enough seed oil in here, the artificial hive will go into the barrel. It'll get converted into a scented artificial hive and pulled out and put into this barrel here. And then once I have some scented artificial hives, then I can convert them into real hives so that I can harvest the bees from them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab some of that wheat, and the way that you can convert the wheat you make into hay bales, and then you're going to need string to make the silk mesh. If you don't remember, it's 9 string. I have a ton coming in from my mob farm, and so that's how you can make artificial hives. Really quite simple, and I'll make a bunch of them, and hopefully I'll get some scented artificial hives here. The squeezing will be the slow part at the moment, but I'll come back in a second once I have at least one of these so that I can show you how you can make real hives from scented artificial hives. I'll be back. Okay, so I have 2 scented artificial hives, and the chest is chugging through the seeds that I put in there. So and I only have a couple in here, so I'll make more sort of off camera, but I just wanted to show you how you can make some hives out of these fairly simply. So if you take some ice and a scented artificial hive in an induction smelter, you can get a wintry hive. With grass blocks you can get meadows hives. With ender pearls you can get an ender hive, and with sand you can get a modest hive. With vines you can get a tropical hive. With oak leaves you can get a forest hive, and with mycelium you can get a marshy hive. So it's quite an easy way of getting the different base hives. Now this doesn't have all the base hives that you're going to need to go forward, but it's a good start to basically build up the number of princesses you have. And that's a key critical point that you're going to definitely have. And so I'm going to use the ice with the scented hive to get wintry hives to give me wintry bees, and it doesn't really matter if I have wintry bees or not. Like, the type of bee doesn't matter because I'm going to convert that princess into a different princess, and I'm going to show you how, because you're going to need princesses to continue your mutations going forward. So, so we have 2 wintry hives, and so you just place down your wintry hives, and you break them with your scoop, and I got 2 princesses. So that's cool. And I got a drone. The drone is irrelevant. I don't really need the drone. So as you can see here, I have noble, diligent, cultivated, unusual, which I just bred up a little bit, and common. These are sort of the standard lines. The noble and the diligent are sort of the standard lines you want to sort of work your way up through. And these are sort of my other princesses that I can play around with. Now tropical is going to have a line of its own that I want to work through, and modest has a line of its own that I'm going to have to work through. But with these wintry princesses, basically if I look at their uses, I don't think they're going to be able to give me too much that I don't want. Like common I already have, cultivated I already have. Now glacial requires an icy princess and a wintry drone. And let's see, an icy princess get from industrious and wintry. So there is like one sort of step that you can get from just wintry itself. So I'll hold on to one princess. No, I'll just hold on to, yeah, I might hold on to one princess. I'll make more. That's not a big deal. So the way that I can convert a wintry princess into, say, a cultivated or a diligent, because like if I look at diligent, like I need diligent to make industrious. I need diligent to make rural, which I've made. I need diligent to make a black queen, unweary queen, so that any diligent for a lot of stuff. So what I want to do is I'm going to take my diligent and I'm going to take a cultivated. I'm going to come over here to my Mutatron, and I can make an unweary drone, or unweary queen, which is fine. I want that. I definitely want unweary because I need to get to industrious. Okay, so I'm going to plop in the unweary. It's going to start working, and I just want to build up a bunch of drones. Once you have a set of drones, I like to keep at least half a stack to a stack of drones of one type. You can basically convert any princess into that species by using those drones. And because I've used up my diligent princess, what I want to do is I want to take a wintry and plop in all my drones. And so what's going to happen is I have automation in here and lifespan. So this is going to quickly, oh shoot, forgot wintry. Okay, the one bad thing about wintry is I need to lower the temperature. Temperature, hostile environment. Okay, so I need to lower the temperature. So what are these called? Upgrades. That's a disadvantage of using wintry. Cooler upgrade. What if that's all I need? Open sky. I think I might just need the cooler upgrades. So I'll make some cooler upgrades, and I'll be back so I can show you how this is going to work. Give me a second. I will be right back. Okay, so we're back. It only needed one cooler upgrade. Needed to lower the temperature a little bit to get started, and so now it'll start working. Then once this queen turns into a princess and some drones, the princess will come back in and mate with this one of these diligent drones. And eventually what'll happen is this wintry princess that I had started with will turn into a diligent princess, and this will take 3 or 4 sort of life cycles basically. And after about three or 4, it'll basically start stacking, and that's how you know you've basically converted something. I call it stacking because what happens is the drones that get produced will also have the exact same stats, so they'll stack, and basically that's good. That means it's a stable line, is what I like to call it. So this will keep going, and just like this one here is going to keep going, and I'll basically get like half a stack of unweary drones before I move on to the next step. Okay, and so I'm going to get, let's see, we got a cultivated, I still have a cultivated princess, okay, which I can use. I do not have sinister, so I can't make fiendish. I already have diligent. I can make majestic because I have noble. And I already have noble. I can't do sinister. Oh, I can make sinister. Aha! So, ooh, I can use my tropical princesses for that. So with my tropical princess and a cultivated drone, I can make a sinister queen. So that's not too bad. So I'll make the sinister queen. Keep in mind that it takes 1 genetics labware every time you do this, and it takes a mutagen and a bunch of power. Okay, so we got a sinister queen. Now I have my beelizer, but I don't think I have any honey in it at the moment. Okay, let me grab some honey. Come over to my this is where I want to put it in the centrifuge, and I'll get some honey from one of these stacks of honeycomb, just so I can analyze the sinister queen, so I can show you, because I think it might have some bad properties. Okay, so sinister has production speed slower, pollination average, flower type needs nether. Okay, so this is an issue. Okay. Flower type nether is an issue in this pack because of Agricraft being installed. So bees don't recognize crops or plants on Agricraft crop sticks. And you can't plant stuff normally. So that's kind of an issue. Now there's a couple ways around it, and then the other thing is this effect aggressive. That means that while it's working, and if you're nearby, it'll damage you. And the way to bypass that is to build like a bee suit. And as part of a quest reward, I got part of a bee suit. So you got to be careful because they will kill you. It requires a hellish climate, so I'd have to make a hellish upgrade to basically get myself to where this will work. So to get the sinister queen to work, I'm gonna need I'm basically gonna need netherwort, but it's not gonna work with Agricraft, so I'm gonna come up with a way of making that work. There's a possible way that maybe this will work. I'm gonna try something here and see if this works. And I'll need a hellish upgrade, which I think I already have one as a quest reward. And I'm going to take damage if I'm nearby. So that's kind of a bad thing. There's some really, really bad bees that have some really, really bad effects. There is a way to bypass this, and that's something we will look into, and I'm not sure I'll do it this episode, but it's something I will do something in the future. But let me try one thing to see if I can I don't have a lot of netherwort, but I have some. Let me grab, I think I have some netherwort down here. Right, I have a little bit. I don't have two, not a ton, but I have a little bit. I just need one to do a trial, and I need 1 soul sand. Okay, so I just want to show you that you can't plant netherwort, just regular. Okay. So you can't just plant netherwort or soul sand. It requires crop sticks. The other bad thing about netherwort is that it grows in the dark only, I think. In Agricraft, I'm not sure if you can get regular netherwort to grow. I'm not sure if that works. So I have this Rural Queen, which requires wheat as a flower. And so to get this wheat here, what I did, I'll break it for now, get my seed back, is I put a stone planter down here. So the stone planter will plant normally without Agricraft crop sticks. I just don't know, and we're going to find out if this works. I don't think it's going to work. Needs hoe. Oh. Okay, yeah, that's right. I had to take the I remember. I had to take the hoe out because I didn't want it to harvest the crop. Will this work? Aha! It works. It works. Okay, now I'm about to hurt myself here, I think. I think I have a hellish upgrade. Yeah, I have a hell emulation here. Okay, so we'll put this in the top one. And it's working. See, it's doing damage to me because I'm there. That's a ton of damage. Whew. And so it works with the netherwort there. And the netherwort's actually growing with the planter. So if you're having trouble with netherwort, you can grow it with the stone planter from, or any of the planters from Progressive Automation. It'll grow stuff normally. I don't think it'll take into account its if you've upgraded it to like a 10-10-10 plant. But if you just want to make some netherwort, to actually mutate and grow netherwort, you're going to need, oops, you're going to need to put it in the dark. It needs to be in the dark to do that mutation. So for me to get near this this machine here, it's gonna be an issue. So I'm gonna let that work for a little while, and then I can come back and check stuff out. So I've got the Sinister Queen going now. That's pretty handy. And a lot of times what I'll do is if you take out the automation upgrade, oh, let's get out of there before I die. If you take out the automation upgrade, when that Sinister Queen dies and generates the princess and the drone, it will not automatically keep going, and then you can just go in and fiddle with it however you see fit. But yeah, so like I said, some bees are pretty dangerous, and so that's pretty much my plan to tackle a lot of the bees. Is I'm going to use you know, these scented hives, cooking them in the induction smelter so that I can make princesses. And the reason that I need to remake some of the princesses is because, oh, I do have some marshy hives here, tropical hives still left. Gotta remember those. Is, you know, I've got it cultivated, but I no longer have the diligent, which I'm remaking now. And I was going to use this cultivated, oops, with the diligent. No, I already made the unweary. Yeah, so with cultivated and the unusual, I can make it eldritch. I don't have industrious yet. Cultivated and tropical, I made the sinister, mystical, noble, majestic. And so with noble, I can make majestic. So if I take my cultivated and I take a noble drone, I can make majestic, like so. At least I'm not taking damage from this this point here. And keep in mind, yeah, this takes a bit of power, and this was full, right? So I had went and filled up this this to like, you know, 5 million or 50 million RF. And so it's chugging through the power. I really need to set the Tesseract up here. I just haven't done that yet. But yeah, it takes a ton of power, so just keep that in mind. It's a really fast way of doing bee breeding, but it does take a ton of power. And so now I have a Majestic, and I'm pretty sure that the Sinister is still running. Yes, it's almost done. Okay, Sinister is almost done, so I don't want to die there, but I got the Majestic, which I will set up, but I still have a Noble Princess, which I can use to mutate with the Majestic, but I don't have a Majestic. I can make Imperial. I already have the Majestic. What am I doing? It looks like all the Majestic can give me is Imperial, so I won't need a lot of Majestics, and this should be done by now. Okay, so that's done. Produce 2 drones. I can pop that back in when I want. I'm going to need some Sinisters because if you look at the Sinister, I'm pretty sure there's quite a few evil beasts that it makes. Demonic, Fiendish, Tricky, Frugal. Okay, it only makes a few, but they're all really bad. They're all really bad bees. So there's definitely ways we can fix this problem, and I'll probably do that before I continue breeding the Sinister bees. I'm just going to pop these over here, and I'm going to throw the Majestic in because I want to get some drones. Throw my automation upgrade back in. Remove the hell biome, and we're good. So a lot of times, yeah, see, I still have a Wintry Queen. Hostile environment. Oh, I guess it needs a little bit more temperature, maybe? Or maybe take out the temperature? No, okay. I made a few of these, so... Okay, it just needed to be a little bit cooler. All of these bees here, all of white drone. Interesting. I don't have any. How much honey do I have? Oh, I got lots of honey there now. White drone. Huh. So I got a, looks like mutation. Yeah, by combining Wintry with, I wasn't even aware that combining these I could get a mutation. So I got a random mutation in the in the industrial apiary. So yeah, you got to be careful. Sometimes that will happen. But I don't know how many generations this has been through. Maybe a couple. So all these drones here, usually I just trash them. I don't find them to be all that useful. I don't really care about that one either. And once they start stacking again, then I will have a diligent princess ready for a mutation or whatever I need it for. And starting to get some unwearies now, and I'm just gonna keep letting some of these other ones progress. But yeah, that's pretty much how I plan on doing a lot of bee breeding. It's going to be a little bit of a time-consuming process. Oh yeah, this is not going to be working anymore because I took the. I think I got enough rural. I don't really need the rural bees too much anyway. I can get Farmerly and Apatine, so that's really the only reason I need the rural bees, and I can get that from the princess and the drones that I have. Relatively simply, so I'm pretty much done with those anyway. And these are just dyes, so not really useful. The brown, all the different color bees, the white, the yellow, the brown, all these combs will produce a brown dye and some beeswax and stuff. I think it's 100% chance of the dye itself. So each comb will produce one dye. So it's a way to make the colors if you want. And if you hear those explosions in the background, apparently people aren't done blowing their hands off from July 4th. So, you know, getting rid of some of those fireworks still. So that's how I plan on doing a lot of the bee breeding, and hopefully you found this helpful, especially if you want to do bee breeding early. You could use bees to basically generate a ton of products. There's metal producing bees. There's all sorts of bees in this pack. It's sort of secondary, like nobody really does bees as their actual production in Agrarian Skies. Probably Alfheim drone, interesting. Endearing drone. There's just a ton, as you can see, a ton of bees, and I'll try to get them all. I'll collect them all. But yeah, that's my plan, sort of to do the bees going forward. Let's do one more mutation before we wrap up. I have an unusual princess, which is good, and I don't want common. Crumbling, I don't have mutable. Don't need cultivated. Eldritch, I'd like Eldritch. So if I take the unusual princess with a cultivated drone, I can get an Eldritch. Ugh. And this is the start of the Magical Bees line, which is an add-on to Forestry. I think it used to be an add-on. I don't know if it's like still an add-on or if it's part of actual Forestry. But yeah, the Eldritch line, you need to get Charmed, which is oops. Let me go back to the Eldritch line. So the Eldritch line, I think, yeah, there's quite a few. Charmed, Esoteric, Enchanted, Mutable, Hateful, Skulking, Mysterious. And so there's a bunch of these. Skulking. Ghastly, Smoldering. Interesting. Batty, Spidery. So beefy. So you can use bees to basically produce a lot of different products. And yeah, I'll just keep working my way through. Basically, the only quest that I have open in Bees and Trees, I'm almost really done, is I basically need to make the bees to make all of these different products. Wow, that was a big explosion. Sorry about that. Didn't expect people to be launching fireworks tonight. This actually time of year in the States is probably my least favorite because everybody like launches fireworks and it's really quite annoying actually. There's one of these pulsating dust. So if you click it, I don't know how to make pulsating dust. Now, I know it might be from pulsating propolis, maybe. But I don't know. At this point, there's no recipe in NEI, so I'm not sure how I'll be able to complete the actual quest. I'm pretty sure you should be able to make it from pulsating propolis at some point. But yeah, this pulsating propolis will make this pulsating mesh, which will make ender pearls in the carpenter. So that's how you can ender pearls using bees. So a bunch of these products. Magic wax is easy to make. Enchanting drop's pretty easy. Fire infused, I'm not sure. Unusual pollen's pretty easy. Destabilized drop, easy. So most of these I know sort of where I have to get to, So it won't be too hard to get to these. I might have issues with this pulsating dust. So, but yeah, this quest here is a really extensive bee breeding line, sort of end goal here. And there's probably some other quests to unlock after that's done, but not too many. I'm almost pretty much done bees. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you have, please don't forget to hit that like button. And leave a comment in the comment section below letting me know what you'd like to see next. If you'd like me to continue doing more bee stuff, I'll be doing a bunch off camera. If you'd like to see me start working on Thaumcraft, Blood Magic, Botania, let me know. Until next time, Delgaro.